Some people don't freeze anymore. Not when plans collapse, not when voices rise. They don't argue. They don't explain. They just adjust. That calm looks impressive at first, almost enviable, until you realize it wasn't learned gently. People who've been through too much don't meet stress the way others do. When something goes wrong, their brain doesn't ask, "Why is this happening?" It asks, "How bad can this get?" Because once, it got very bad. That's why everyday problems feel muted to them. A late reply, a missed deadline, an uncomfortable conversation. They notice it. They just don't spiral. Their baseline changed years ago. You'll see them during chaos, not panicking, not performing leadership, just doing what needs doing. They grab the keys, make the call, handle the next step. Not because they're fearless, because freezing was never an option before. But here's where the story turns. That calm isn't peace, it's readiness. Their attention never fully rests. They clock details constantly. Who went quiet? Who shifted tone? What felt different this time? Not because they enjoy analyzing, because missing signals once had consequences. So now they catch everything. They'll notice your smile hesitate. They'll hear tension in a joke. They'll sense when a room changes before anyone names it. This makes them deeply perceptive and quietly exhausted. They understand people fast because they had to. Empathy wasn't a moral choice, it was a survival skill. And while they're good at reading others, they're vague about themselves. Ask how they're doing, and you'll get a smooth answer. Functional, contained. They learned early that being easy to handle kept things stable. Needing less felt safer than needing honestly. So they minimize. They joke instead of asking. They solve instead of sharing. Independence didn't start as strength. It started as protection. This shows up sharply in relationships. They're reliable, consistent, the person who shows up without reminders. But emotional closeness makes their body brace. Not because they don't want it, because closeness used to be unpredictable. Connection once came with conditions, so now they hover in a careful distance. Close enough to care, far enough to stay intact. Here's the part that challenges the usual narrative. They don't crave control because they're anxious. They crave it because they've accepted reality. They're strangely calm about big uncertainties, careers changing, plans falling apart. They've already survived identity shifts, but they focus hard on small certainties, timing, order, routines. Those details aren't habits, they're anchors. They give the body evidence that something is predictable in a world that once wasn't. Change doesn't scare them. Stagnation does. They know what it's like to be stuck in something unlivable. Even their humor carries this history. It's quick, dry, sometimes dark. Not to shock, to regulate. Laughter didn't erase pain. It shrank it. It made heavy things portable. But under all this capability, there's a quieter weight. A grief that doesn't announce itself. Not grief for an event, grief for a version of self. The one who trusted easily, who didn't scan rooms, who didn't rehearse conversations. They miss a softness they had to give up early, a sense of ease they didn't get to grow into. This grief doesn't break them, it hums in the background. It shows up as tiredness after good days, as sadness in calm moments they worked hard to reach, because part of them is still catching up to safety. Here's the reframe that matters. Going through too much doesn't just make people tough, it makes them exact. They know where their limits are. They choose peace deliberately. They value consistency over intensity. They don't chase constant happiness. They build stability. They understand that life can be meaningful without being loud. Strength, to them, isn't never breaking. It's rebuilding without pretending nothing changed. Sometimes quieter, sometimes smaller, but more honest. So if you know someone who seems unusually calm in chaos, unusually perceptive with others, or unusually private about themselves, there's likely a reason. Not everyone who's been through too much talks about it. Some people just move differently afterward. If this resonated, sit with it for a moment. And if you want more psychology like this, you're welcome to like and subscribe. More reflections are here when you're ready.